Have you watched too many isekai or action shows to know the overpowered guy is always coming as the victor at the end of the fight? Then that feeling of uncertainty is what you need. When it comes to thriller anime, we have no cliches. It's all about who survives and who doesn't. Don't believe me? Then why don't you check out these 10 thriller anime that will keep you at the edge of your seat. Number 10. Paranoid Agent. Let's kick things off with something underrated. Not every anime can pull off these perfect twists at the right times, and then take the story to a whole new direction. Not every anime can use a gripping central mystery to push forward the tension of the show and craft a strong-paced narrative. But, you guessed it, these are what Paranoid Agent excels at. You've got one killer named Shonen Bat going around hitting people with a baseball bat. And if that isn't a good enough mystery for our Sherlocks to solve, then I don't know what is. Since we spoke about beating down people with a metal bat, expect a lot of gore and violence, plus some interesting crime solving in this one. Don't you love those horror stories about dead girls and high schools? I mean, we do have Dusk Maiden as a show, but sometimes we'd like something a bit more serious, wouldn't we? Perhaps Dusk Maiden with some gothic feeling. Yep, that's where Another comes in. A girl's death leads to students and their relatives dying in strange accidents in very, and I mean very, gruesome ways. Koichi gets together with another girl named Mei. In finding out the truth about these murders, reveals some very dangerous secrets that are buried in the past. Mysterious school corridors, a mystery that slowly develops through each episode, accidents that make you feel afraid of using an umbrella. Well, Another has it all. The Promised Neverland. Okay, you must have at least heard of the plot. Call this the KFC anime, but it's the children being the big chicken meal for demons. The plot twists come and hit poor Emma in the face, and her life has been a living hell ever since then. The first season of Promised Neverland was an absolute banger, and the second season, well, should I even mention the second season in this case? Your best choice would be to stop watching the anime after that first season and go read the manga. But don't worry about the first season, because it gives you enough chills and jolts up your spine to scare you in your dreams. Trust me, you'll never look at orphanages in the same way again after watching this anime. Number 7. Shiki. Vampires? Okay, don't shake your head, I know it's been done to death. But Shiki gives off a different vibe compared to shows like Hellsing. Vampires with tones of horror? That's something everyone can't just do. It happens in a rather rural Japanese village called Sotoba, where vampiric creatures plague the village, bringing unfortunate and brutal deaths to its inhabitants. We follow the story of Natsuno Yuki, who soon gets dragged into one of these mysteries, and is haunted by these vampires. Shiki has a really good way mixing in the horror with its plot, by making sure the hair on your skin stands up in the least expected moments. Don't know how 2D animation can scare the living hell out of you? Well, why don't you watch Shiki and find out?
Bring him back to me! Bring him back!
Number 6. Monster. Sometimes thriller anime isn't about that ghost hiding behind your bedroom door. It's about that one guy who goes around wreaking havoc that makes you question the dark side of humanity. Yeah, Monster is sort of like Paranoid Agent, but more serious. It's an anime about one surgeon who is forced to choose between the life of a child and a politician. He chooses the life of a child, but it turns out that this child is a killer.
Someone's there!
Not the best news a surgeon wants to hear, right? Monster loves to play with that thrill factor and creates an antagonist that can send shivers down your spine. After watching this show, you're gonna think that Libert is one of the darkest anime characters ever created.
Because I don't just care for her, I love her.
Want to meet the world's craziest girlfriend? She may look cute, but she'll make sure to murder a whole cult just to save her boyfriend. To recap the synopsis, it's about a boy named Yukiteru Amano, who is forced into a battle royale with 12 other opponents. Each of them gets a diary which has its own power. The one Yuki gets is the Future Diary, a diary that can predict any events that is happening in the future.
Making the ultimate sacrifice. Death is nothing.
What I love about Future Diary is the way it combines psychological elements into its horror, and makes your brain spin around while watching the show. Don't expect flowers and cute girls in this one, because I'm telling you, you're gonna watch anime's darkest death game. Number 4, Death Parade. You know who you should be most scared about in hell? The barman who waits to greet you during your afterlife. The story of Death Parade is about a lonely bartender named Desim, who begins to think twice about his judgments when he meets a black-haired woman who committed suicide and realizes that she is dead. This anime brings on the concept of death and blends it into a game-like format. Giving birth to a unique and original show that can keep you hooked. Oh, and did I mention Future Diary was the darkest death game? Well then, you better add this as number 2, because Death Parade shows the most creative ways to kill a sinner. Desim is no Satan, and he may look like an adult version of Kaneki, but don't go messing around with him. Eternal depression? Check. Waifus that get killed in the most brutal ways possible? Check. A thriller show that will make you binge watch a whole season in one night? Check. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you ReZero. Here we meet Subaru, who is transported to a fantasy world while coming out of a grocery store. But his time in the fantasy world isn't surrounded by adventures and cute girls. Subaru soon learns that he doesn't die when he is killed. And no, that's not a Fate reference. He literally has the ability to get reincarnated at a specific time as soon as he dies.
No matter what happens, I'm gonna save you.
The anime follows his story as he struggles to find who brought him to this fantasy world, and his purpose in it. It has 2 seasons, so that's enough episodes to give you a busy weekend. What if I told you there's a virus to make the COVID pandemic look lame? If you don't believe me, then you've got to watch Higurashi. It happens when our protagonist, Keiichi, travels to the fictional village of Hinamizawa and befriends 4 girls with a rather mysterious background. He soon gets to know about a mystery in the village that people are being killed or disappeared at the end of the Watanagashi festival. Soon, he realizes that the murderers are linked to the lives of her own 4 childhood friends, and before too long is dragged into this dangerous murder mystery as well. Higurashi knows how to craft a horror that leaves a disturbing feeling in your stomach. As for the thriller factor, why not ask some fans of the show why they're scratching their necks so often? Number 1. Steins Gate. You will never believe how a time-traveling story with a mad scientist would turn into one of the greatest thriller anime ever made. Okay, it's also the greatest science fiction anime show to ever exist. But we're here for some good thrillers, right? Steins Gate features a time travel gone wrong, but the show doesn't simply survive on that plot thread alone. Soon, you've got evil organizations, girls from the future, as well as a red-headed scientist joining the team of a mad scientist to take the show in new directions. If you love a good thriller about time travel, then I can definitely recommend Steins Gate to you. So there goes 10 thriller anime that will keep you at the edge of your seat. These are enough to give you chills and will make sure that you have some sweet dreams at night. As usual, let us know down below in the comments section if we missed any shows that you're interested in, and don't forget to remind anyone we missed. And if you haven't joined our growing community, hit that subscribe button along with the bell notification to get updated with our latest videos. With that said, hope you guys stay safe and stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video.